I love it.
Good evening, everyone.
Very good.
Welcome to DobbsQuest, Season 2, Episode 4. Can you believe this is still going on? Did the players get to hear it? Yes, they got an early preview copy. Because they're special, you see. And also apparently that. Yeah, you are all very special. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. If you are new to our weekly DobbsQuest game, this is basically Dungeons and Dragons. The players, which I will introduce, we have Daysnick playing the part of Serene, Elven Bard.
Hello.
We have GameCube playing the part of Glaine, a sneaky thief.
That intro happened because of my complaining, so you're welcome.
Basically. And Lurking Turtle playing the part of Torgon, stalwart warrior.
It only took me 2 seasons and 4 episodes to get introduced.
You've been introduced. Enjoy that. So the general idea with this is I will be describing scenarios that the characters are encountering, and then our 3 players will make decisions and decide what their characters should do in that situation. As a result, we will reference a set of rules that dictate which dice should be rolled, and based on the outcome of those dice, bad things will probably happen. So, as a quick recap of the plot, our party of 3 here, Serene, Glaine, and Torgon, are seeking something called the Mana Spring, a sort of portal that allows magic into the Ironlands, the region that they're traversing across. They have found that some of the Mana Springs have decayed or even been destroyed completely over the years, and as a result, there is the possibility of horrible things happening unless they are restored. So the party is trying to journey across the land to find the standing mana springs, to study the inscriptions across them, and basically learn how to rebuild the old mana springs or build a new one. So they are having to travel to the corners of the world to find these old rune stones and unlock the secrets of the mana springs. In Season 2, we are traveling through a region known as the Ashenlands, a dry, arid area that is mostly desolate. There is but one known settlement there, Ember, which we are currently on our way to. And it is known that there is a mana spring somewhere there. Now, who they can find that can actually lead them there, they're not 100% sure, but they're on the right track. They have 2 friends with them, Lucia, a mystic, and George, who fights with a sling and is overzealous. Lucia and George are siblings. They are from the one Ashenland settlement of Ember. And once they at least get to Ember, hopefully the party is anticipating that they will be able to find some clues as to the whereabouts of the Mana Spring. George for Smash. Excellent. He's got my vote. All right. Now, last time, you were leaving the last settlement outside of the Ashenlands towards Ember, the settlement of Bulwark, which was teetering on the edge of war with the nearby tribes of Varro, these wolf-like creatures. And so, having sorted everything out there, the party has journeyed off towards the Ashenlands. Did have a scuffle with a handful of Varro on the way from one of the nearby clans of Varro, but emerged victorious. And that is about where we left off. According to our Val set here, we are 1 of 10 progress ticks on our way to Ember. The first one was an absolute miss. That happens sometimes, but the party didn't die, so we're all right. Current health and the like is looking so-so. No one's in dire straits here. Spirits and morale are high at least, and supply is doing okay. Health could be better. And that's it. That's where we stand now. All right, we got our papers ready. Currently, what we're about to do is continue our rolls on. What is it? Undertake a journey. So, before we do that, okay, spending my money. Before we do that, does anyone have anything they want to do in preparation for the next leg of the journey?
I mean, we could use a healing. I mean, we're not in desperate need, but I mean, a healing couldn't hurt. I mean, it could hurt. But...
What is my light track currently set to?
Light track is currently at 3 of 6.
The bot's really not been liking my heal checks lately, but we can try. I mean, I roll at a +5.
And it's still not enough.
So, with my light track, if it's at 3 and I roll and I do badly, does it just remain at 3, or is there like a penalty for trying and failing to get more?
Officially, anytime that an asset or move does not indicate what happens on a miss, it is a generic, you have to pay the price. And
So if my light track is 3 and I
sure,
try to go for 6, I'll probably drop to 0 or something.
uncertain.
Or lose momentum. Or some penalty.
Something bad will happen. All we have is that what happens on a strong hit and a weak hit. I don't think there's anything specific mentioned.
Does the sun in the sky count as a light source, or does it have to be something more local?
I would.
It would have to be a more concentrated, like it's a sunbeam. it's
like
fixed.
I would think something more localized would be more balanced than just as long as it's daytime, I'm good kind of thing. Like
Okay.
the rules are intentionally vague. Yeah, the rules are intentionally vague on this. The idea is like, all right, whatever fits in your world is how it should work. So it would feel overpowered if you're just blasting everything with lasers anytime that it's daytime.
Are we like leaving the camp in the morning right now? Is that where we are?
Let's see. We try to make camp roll that failed.
But we were at a camp, like we were at like a campfire being attacked. Have we left to that point?
I don't think that's about where we left off. We didn't really decide what happened after that fight.
I mean, I would argue that if we've broken down the campfire and we're still in the woods, there's probably not enough light to even try that again. So,
right.
I'll just sit on the 3.
Yeah, we just don't want to overuse. I mean, it is probably just going to become the new Shadow Walk of this solves all my problems.
Fireball, fireball, fireball.
Basically.
I cast magic missile at the darkness.
Yeah.
I teleport to where we're going.
Ta-da! Done. Okay, so we'll be sitting at +3 on that. I mean, does the party, post battle, does anyone actually take any action? I guess is the big question here.
I'm willing to try some heal attempts if people want.
I think that's one of the final things we tried to do at the end of the last one.
I don't remember getting to that point. I had to leave to get to another meeting, and so we were like, okay, yes, the Varro died. Congratulations, moving on. We'll figure the rest out later.
What's the worst that could happen?
We tried that before we left the town. That's the last time we tried it.
That sounds right.
We were trying to commune with them, and they were like, "No, get out." That was it.
But what's the worst that could happen, really? I mean, I would like a healing by Serene.
Okay.
If she is willing.
I'm sure it'll go well. All right, so Serene rolls with a +5 on heal because of a significant number of assets at her disposal. Because she's employing medicinal herbs in this case. So we're gonna see what happens here. Oh, hey!
All right.
There's multiple benefits right here. First of all, oh wait, no. We respect, so you don't get the momentum bonus. But you do get strong hit, give or take +2 health. So let's see, who is that going towards? Torgan? Is that?
Yeah.
All right.
I feel as healthy as a horse.
But all right, your care is helpful. So after the battle with the Varro, Serene takes some time to tend to Torgan's arm, which the Varro had quite a hold on that with its fangs. So Serene applies some medicinal compounds. She has some herbs in all of her pouches, and she kind of digs around, and it's a deep wound, but she kind of applies some care there, bandages it up, and Torgan kind of gives it some time for the medicine to work in, and kind of does feel significantly better. Like the wound is mending, and the pain is subsiding.
Yay.
So still bandaged, but healthy to fight.
Thank you, Serene.
You're welcome.
All right.
Mine is slightly gun shy from the last 7 attempts to heal him, but it failed, so he was just going to soldier on.
That makes sense. All right. We're going to undertake a journey. So this is with wits. Which that will be probably Serene making that roll. All right. So after all of the issues over the past night, Lucia spent some time kind of trying to figure out what was going on with the warding circle that was supposed to keep this grove protected. But after kind of dealing with that, you guys don't know exactly what the details of what she found or what she did after that. But she either way, she knows that we do need to keep moving the following day. So everyone camps up and recuperates after the harrowing events of last night. A strong hit means you reach a waypoint. You may either make good use of resources and mark progress, or trade supply for momentum. I mean, you still get progress either way, but...
I'm solid on momentum.
Yeah, momentum.
But it would only apply for me, right?
Yes, since technically this is your role.
Yeah, then we're gonna be careful with our resources.
That makes sense. Making good use of resources to carry on. And now, determining exactly what we are dealing with here. What this location is. with the old dice roller. Dice bag. All right, here we go. 56.
Is your thing refreshing?
My thing?
Yeah, because the journey thing didn't go up and my health didn't try to go up.
Ah, well, I've seen that happen before. All right, so I need to close out of this. Basically, what I need to do is force OBS to remember that. Hey, maybe can you look at this?
Sorry.
No, it's fine. There it goes. Now that one started, and then if I go to interact with this one, wait for it. There it goes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it just does that, and I don't get exactly why. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't update on its own. All right. Numbers were 30, 56. This is Ancient Grove. The Ancient Grove. We are nearing the edge of the wooded area on the border of the Ashenlands, on this large desert that we're going to be coming up upon. We don't know exactly what that looks like just yet. We haven't made it quite there. Yeah, Grove Part 2. It was more of a glen. So we will, let's see, Ancient Grove. So this is the last stop before the big stony desert that marks the entrance of the Ashenlands. This area is not unsafe. It is kind of the last place to restock before entering an area that's going to be very low on resources. After this point, any attempts to resupply will be at a disadvantage. So if you want to try and get one more shot in for hunting for food, refilling water skins, etc.
I get a bonus with my archer talent if I resupply via hunting, don't I?
You do. Not only a bonus, but also not only a bonus to the roll, but an additional bonus on success as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There it is. You have the Archer 3. When you resupply by hunting, add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. Normally, resupply, which is somewhere. Boy, there's a lot of these. Here we go, resupply. When you hunt, forage, or scavenge, roll wits, which is nice. That works well for Serene. That is her best roll at a +3. So you get to roll that at a +4 for supply. Gonna go for it?
Yes.
All right, let's see what happens here. Oh, wrong hit. Barely a strong hit. So, because of the Archer talent, you gain 1 momentum in addition to topping off your supply track. So you are now at maximum momentum. So Serene goes off hunting while the rest of the caravan takes this one last chance to resupply on water and other necessities.
While she's out...
Go ahead.
While she's out hunting, I also want to roll a gather information.
Okay.
She's been sleeping poorly lately, and
Mm-hmm.
there's things that have been bothering her, troubling her mind. So she's just gonna look around while she's out hunting and kind of see if there's anything that would kind of give her any hints or jar her memory as to things that as to why everything is why her sleep has been so troubled. I'll put it that way.
So this is tricky. Gather information. Are you asking people? Or are you just sort of meditating on the question?
I'm envisioning it more as while she's out, she's checking for, like, she's looking at the different trees. This is an ancient grove, apparently, so she's looking to see if there are any like, hidden kind of nooks that might have any, like, signs of past civilization that might have been here. Are there any engraved areas on any surfaces, rocks, trees?
Okay, let's give it a try. Let's see what we can figure out here. Strong hit. And you guys were complaining about the RNG last time. Look
You
at that,
fixed
that's
it.
4 strong
for
hits in a
sure.
row.
You had to have fixed it.
I wish I could say that I had something to do with your luck streak. Actually, no, because then I would be taking responsibility for last week, where everything was a miss. Let's see here. So you discover something helpful, and you take +2 momentum. Doesn't really help in this case. Pepperoni roll. Yes, exactly that. So let's see. What specifically do you learn here? Let me check with the Oracle. 1968. Okay. It's a weird one. Huh.
It would also make sense if she finds something that is, especially since we're getting closer, in theory, to the Mana Spring, if there was some kind of disturbance or some kind of magical anomaly that she found.
Right. You guys are still quite a ways away, for whatever that's worth. So I think what you do find, though, there are some old road markers in the area, where at one point perhaps a more thriving pathway went through this area. These are very old, somewhat weathered by the years, but the inscription was at least made out large enough that it has withstood some of the ravages of time. And you can make out that there are some old, recognizable elven characters. Not enough to really piece together anything about the meaning of it, but at least enough to see that this road was frequented enough long ago to warrant road markers inscribed with elven text, which at least implies that the direction you're heading, you are on the right track towards finding some more information. At this particular spot, there's not a whole lot to be found.
But it's enough to give her some hope that...
Peace of mind that you're on the right track, that you are getting closer to somewhere that was an elven hotspot.
It also gives her an idea that she should keep her eyes open, and gives her an idea of questions she should be asking once we reach Ember.
Yes, exactly. All right. The next leg of the journey leads you into the deserts. Are we ready? Last stop.
Brown side of the cloak out.
I suggest we let somebody else, because they both have 2.
True.
I'm maxed on momentum. I suggest we let somebody else roll the undertake a journey roll.
And again, this isn't like controlling who is actually, you know, in the front of the caravan or anything like that. More of just who's in charge of the scene and who reaps the rewards of a strong hit.
I guess we're kind of the same because of his geared for war, but I guess I'll go since I'm 3.
All right. Glane brings us off into... Huh. A strong hit.
I did it.
On a 1 and a 2?
Yes.
Victory.
Against a 1 and a 2.
Hang on. Let me do some test rolls real quick.
A 3.
Yeah, there you go. Get all them big numbers out.
Get those out of the way.
Yeah, get those out of the system.
I mean, well, either way,
nice.
you got your strong hit. That is progress. What? Math, random numbers. 2281.
This progress is illustrated by us moving forward, holding a map, and then before we take another moment forward, I turn the map over and be like, "Oh, I was holding this the wrong way." Okay, we're good.
There we go. Yeah, fix that. All right. So, 21, 22. All right, you enter the stony deserts that mark the transition into the Ashen Lands. The ground is sort of this rubble, gravel kind of mixture. Some larger stones, but mostly the ground is this fine, rocky soil. Vegetation almost comes to a complete stop. There are still some, little scraggly trees here and there. But it looks like there's just a point where things just stop growing effectively. The caravan takes some difficulty, readjusting for the different terrain. The large stones in the path, just these handful of like little, these sort of weird roadblocks everywhere. That take a great deal of steering to get around. None of them are particularly big, but any one of them could damage cartwheels to a point where it would slow down the whole journey for everyone. So those kind of steering the way are trying to take extra care to find the path of least resistance as you guys head through into this stony desert. You see some distant hills, kind of these rocky hills and valleys. Again, these are not tree-topped or anything. This is a very dry area that you've entered into. The air does feel a bit more parched as the forest quickly fades away, giving way to the rocky expanse ahead. Up ahead, the distant hills kind of veer off around each other, and it's kind of difficult to see very far onto the horizon. But Lucia does point ahead, kind of beyond hills that you can't see past them, but she says that direction is the way we are going to be traveling towards Ember. It will be several days before we reach our goal, but that is the way. But this is a waypoint, so progress is being made.
Yeah.
Pressing on?
Yeah, I guess let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
No other preparations necessary. Glane, again, taking the roll here. Weak hit. That is a waypoint at the cost of supply. Very quickly you are sort of running into the issue of the difficult terrain kind of eating into resources quickly. Early on in the journey, a broken cartwheel has to be replaced. after one of these rocks is sort of tumbles down from one of the hills and gets just barely into the way just before someone can get around it. A surprising number of little pock marks in the ground, these little potholes, are kind of again kind of dealing heavy blows to the actual cart infrastructure that you're trying to maintain here. Rations are holding out fine. Water is always a concern, but the caravan is well stocked for this journey. Lucia and George have made this journey many times before, and they basically make sure everyone is extremely well stocked. It's probably fine, Dade. I wouldn't worry about it. And let's see here. Where does that put us? Any sites of interest here? No, we are on the old road. As far as animals, very little that you've seen. A handful of lizards, snakes, an occasional mouse skittering by.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah, so a little bit of meat, but nothing much really. For the most part, you will be relying on your packed supplies. It's a lot of animals killed. All right. Let's see here. Who wants to make the next roll here? Who's it gonna be?
Did I get a momentum from that strong hit that I got?
It turns out no. Strong hit is just you made progress and didn't lose supply.
Okay, so
yeah.
What do I have to do to get momentum out of this? Strong hits aren't good enough.
You can secure an advantage.
Okay.
Scouting ahead, just anything you can come up with to play out of, here's how I am helping us achieve our goals.
I have noticed the wear and tear coming to the cart, and so I am kind of walking ahead of the cart and getting the really noticeable stuff and kind of kicking it or throwing it out of the way to try to forge a path without having to turn too much.
All right, let's see how that plays out. Glane is secured.
I've uncovered a scorpion under a rock. Oh God!
I mean, it could happen, but it doesn't. No, that was a good move right there. You may make a choice here on what benefit is. Either the next roll for Undertake a Journey gets an additional bonus of +1, or you can take 2 momentum right now.
I will take 2.
I had a feeling. All right, that was a good call. Glane goes ahead of the group and tries to scout out the road, just kind of using his sharp eyes to identify particularly troubling spots that the carts may have to deal with, and tries to deal with those well in advance. And more than once, this has saved a little bit of damage to the carts, and they're quite grateful for that. So you're also buying a little bit of goodwill with the other travelers. So good call on that. And now we're gonna undertake a journey again. Glane is gonna be leading the pack here. A weak hit. So that means that we are eating into our supply further. But making progress. We're about at the halfway mark to our goal here. What does this bring us to, and what exactly happened that made this a weak hit? This is 89. All right, the expansive valley. So again, we're kind of seeing more of the same. Of the carts are kind of trying to stay maintained. It's a little bit tricky because the roads are rough, and you are starting to. It's not terrible, but your food and water supplies is noticeably lighter at this point. This is not from poor planning. Lucia assures you, barring some horrible occurrence along the way, we're plenty well stocked to travel all the way there and back. So we'll see. We're uncertain on that. Lucia seems okay with it. George is just happy to be here. But we'll see what we can pull off here. You know what? I think Torgan should take the reins at this point.
Why not?
Yeah, let's take center stage for a bit. What are you gonna do anything in particular to keep things moving, or are you just gonna be kind of more reactive at this point?
Of course, taking the reins.
You know what? This is a mistake. I'm keeping an eye on the horses. As the fellow brethren, I'm making sure that the scorpions that were mentioned from earlier, they're not nipping at them.
Right. Okay.
So I'm a little closer to the caravan, kind of guarding, keeping an eye out for bad things.
I mean, you are from Mornbridge, and your family is all, horse people, like veterinarians and stuff.
If you'll pardon the
Mm-hmm.
That's an insult to my people.
All right, so we're gonna try and get some momentum out of this.
Shouldn't hurt.
I mean, say that. All right, so we're just trying to secure an advantage for the next leg of the journey. Torgan kind of checking in on the horses, making sure everything's okay here. This feels like a heart move here, to some degree. It's in his blood. Oh, or not. Tragedy strikes. And not nearly enough momentum to deal with that. Okay.
No, my horse.
Enabling. Perfect. Let's see here. Where is...
No, I knew this was a mistake.
I mean, always. All right, so what happens here? A new danger or foe is revealed out in the stony desert. Ooh, well.
Maybe we found some snakes, and one of our snakes is horse bit, or horse is a snake bit. There we go. That's the order those words go in.
The snakes are horse bit.
You know what? That sounds reasonable. That as Torgan is kind of trying to care for the horses, one of the other carts further back on the trail, you notice some commotion going on back there. One of the horses rearing up and pulling against the reins, and those around the cart kind of point out, kind of a little bit nervously, a snake sort of slithering off, and they sort of indicate that, I don't know what kind of snake that was, but it just bit Theodore here.
Excellent.
And that's not good because we packed extra, cart supplies and enough extra food and water. We didn't pack any extra horses. So this could be a problem.
I'm a poison expert.
I kill the horse.
You are a poison expert. You've got a special... Well, nope, you don't have poison expert 3. So
they used to, but we had to...
Yeah, you kind of traded that.
Get it back eventually.
Eventually.
Well, since I screwed up on this this one, doesn't this count as her aiding an ally, perhaps? She could
Yeah, we've got some different things we can pull here. Aid an ally can help. I don't think heal applies in this case.
I mean, I'm trying to heal the horse from
Oh wait,
snake
oh
bite.
yeah, sorry. Let's see here. Yeah, we can still make that a heal check.
The numbers are a little like the horse doesn't have hit points.
Yeah, but still, it'll be kind of a success, but, or failure.
Hey, let's enter some stuff into canon here. Let's make some canon tonight.
Okay.
You know, I really shouldn't have been. I really shouldn't have been keeping an eye out for scorpions and things, considering I only have one since the accident between seasons 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, and now you've just got the patch.
Yes, it hasn't been brought up, but I do only have one eye.
That's canon.
That's canon. Which is why I failed.
Makes sense. Shame about that eye. Can't heal that one. So let's see. Ooh.
So I'm gonna have George, since he's native to this area.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna send him after the snake. And be like, go figure out what kind of snake that was.
Okay.
I'm gonna put the surly teenager to use.
Yeah. All right, that's a secure an advantage right there.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what old George can find for us here. Let's see here. Trying to gain some leverage about what type of snake it is. And then use that information. Oh, oh, that's not good. That's not good, and it's bad. All right, well,
whatever it is, it's happening to George, not me. So,
let's see here. Moves, pay the price. 4. All right, a delay or a disadvantage. All right, George is taking a long time getting back. He went after that thing. He hasn't immediately found it. That's not good. I mean, if we don't know what kind it is, it's going to be a lot harder to care for this horse. Yeah, rip, George. What are we gonna do? First off, that is gonna cost you some momentum. And we don't have the information on what kind of snake it is. Now, people are starting to look towards you guys as kind of the de facto problem solvers.
Well, I'm going to see if I can help the horse. I'm going to advise them to go ahead and unhitch it from the cart. Mm-hmm. And we're going to see if we can get it to lay down, because that'll help slow down how fast the poison spreads. I'm going to go ahead and tourniquet the horse's leg.
Okay.
Worst case scenario, we have to bring one of those cattle up from the back and have them kind of help the other horse to try and lighten the load on him to compensate.
All right, well, let's see if we can get this tourniquet working properly. We're going to try and secure an advantage for the heal check that's coming up.
Yes.
Using wits, which is your best point.
No,
didn't go well.
The horse is not cooperating at all.
No, not only is it not cooperating, and... oh boy. And a surprising development complicates things, apparently. Alright, now things are getting interesting. Alright, so let's see here. What is the surprising development here? 7. Oppose survival. That's a good combo.
The horse is already having bad reactions, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's worse than we thought. George is back.
Right.
So George kind of comes running back, kind of with this good news, bad news look in his eye. All right, Serene, I got you the information you need. I know what kind of snake it is. He goes on to describe the colors and patterns. So the first bit of bad news, it is quite venomous. Could be deadly. Second bad news. I kind of had to get a little close to it to determine the colors, and I may have gotten a bit of a nip myself.
Oh.
But that's okay, because if it's poisonous, you see, it's only gonna hurt if I eat it, right?
She face palms. She's like, well, the good news is it just bit the horse first. So if there was any venom, it's probably going to kill the horse instead of you. Unless it spared the horse and is going to kill you instead.
Oh, that's good news.
I don't know.
That's good news.
Which part?
What? It's a little warm out here, isn't it? I'm going to have a lie down.
It is rather warm.
Okay, so I'm going to experiment this heal check on the horse and see if this poultice I came up with works. And if the horse seems to be okay, then we're gonna try it on George.
Alright.
But we're gonna test it on the horse first.
Alright, we got 2 heal checks coming up.
I have an ethical problem with this animal testing.
Well, would you rather me test it on George?
Do you have any advantage you want to secure here?
That's not going well.
I try to keep George comfortable, giving him a fruit roll up out of my pouch.
Okay, good call.
What if we knock him out?
Who?
George. Just knock him out.
He's working on that himself. He's kind of laying down. He's feeling dizzy. Not particularly lucid.
Uh-oh. Well, maybe it did spare the horse.
We don't know.
I would like to secure an advantage.
Might have been a different snake. Okay, what do you got in mind?
Where is his bite?
Which one?
George.
George?
We're gonna attempt to remove the venom from the child.
Right on the arm. He was reaching out for it. It's very obvious.
Right on the arm. Okay. Would it make sense to get his sling and try to kind of tie it around the upper part of his arm to try to prevent the poison?
Does have that sling handy. That makes sense. I'd buy that.
I'm gonna try that while we work on the horse.
It makes sense. Except he's
Not
been
total
running
circulation.
and his heart rate's up. And it's been at least 5 minutes since he left.
Movie logic. It's probably fine.
Okay.
The dice will tell if it's fine. It's fine. That does help.
Okay.
We don't know. You know what? Maybe it's just a placebo effect, but it does help in some way. GQ, are you gonna pass the +1 to the heal check, or do you want the 2 momentum?
I already rolled at a +5.
Blaine thinks that he's done plenty trying to get him a person he doesn't really like that much this far, so he's going to take the momentum.
All right.
A little for you, a little for me.
Okay. Blaine feels good about what he's done.
Is this Mystic help any? Is there any chance of Mystic
Oh yeah,
help?
does Lucia have any advice?
So we determined that Lucia has some divination ability and warding ability, which doesn't really help.
I mean, she could maybe secure an advantage for us whether or not it's going to work.
Let's see here.
We don't really have time for that.
Yeah, doing a ritual is
Divination
not gonna really...
takes a long time.
Yeah. Well.
All right, let's try. Let's try and help the horse first.
All right. This is a heal check of wits with your asset. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull that one up as well. You are a herbalist, which grants you a +2 on your bone. Assuming that's what you're going for is the.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. All right.
We're gonna use some powder that's gonna help draw the poison out, and
yeah,
like arrowroot. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah. So Serene reaches into her quickly diminishing supply of herbs and her 11 herbs and spices for the horse.
Oh, no 11 herbs and spices on the horse.
Okay.
We're not gonna eat the
No.
Okay, +5 on this heal check. So you've got every advantage in the world right now.
Oh,
it's a good thing it was a +5. That's an and.
Match.
Okay, so on a strong hit, your care is helpful.
And it's a match.
And it's a match. So what does that mean exactly? Oracle of the Dice. 37.
Looks like we're not having KFH tonight.
Oh. Ooh. Okay. Let's put a pin in that. Do not let me forget the match, because this happens a lot. Is that I'll say we'll get back to that, and then I never get back to it. But George is dying over here, so we really need to figure out what's happening with George.
Well, whatever I did for the horse seemed to work, so we're gonna try it on George too.
We're gonna try it on George too.
Maybe at half the dosage, because I multiplied the dosage for the size of the horse.
All right.
So I assume he weighs less than a horse.
I mean, you know what? We haven't really described George that much, and that's fine.
He's a stout boy.
He's a stout boy. Maybe not horse level of stoutness, but he's stout. Okay. Whew. A 6.
Right.
That's a good roll. All right.
At 11.
Your care is helpful. Okay.
So apparently I can heal anybody but Glane.
I mean, that's kind of plot. There's reasonable understanding. We know what's going on.
Half-hearted healings.
There's explanations out there that we could draw. We don't know which ones are accurate. No NPCs shall die this day. Har har. Okay. As for the match, this is of relevance to Serene. Seize memory. Serene, you have been in your dreams as you've approached the Ashenlands. You have had sleeping visions of the song of your people. And there's still a lot of things unanswered, and the details are very fuzzy. You're only just now starting to come to grips with the idea that the rough sleep you've been having, you're having some kind of dreams that are of relevance to your central backstory vow, to gain answers about your people. You know, what happened to them, who were they, all of this. Ooh, but what do you learn here? Something has almost a feeling of deja vu. This sort of unlocking of, some scene that you feel like it's that sensation of, here's a thing I already knew, but now I suddenly know it. But consciously know it. You're having that sensation that deja vu is the closest thing I can say to describe that, though not particularly applicable. Now what do you learn here?
Maybe I'm having to get a closer look at George than I ever have before, and maybe there's some interesting markings, or like maybe does this kind of community have like tattoo markings that maybe their young people use, or maybe there's something. Maybe the symbol maybe there's, or maybe it's on his clothing and I just never noticed it before. Maybe there's something, or maybe it's on the sling.
All reasonable suggestions. I think let's see. Fitting in with my notes, I think the most likely thing is some kind of emblem worn on him. A fastener of a cloak, a pendant, anything like this has an etching, and you've never really noticed it because you've never really been this close to George, because you haven't really wanted to be this close to George before. This symbol is it is of elven origin. It is not just a single symbol. It is a collection of characters that read together as. Let's see if I can find what that's going to be. Flame Reach. Doesn't make much sense in isolation. Do George or Lucia know of your elven origin?
I don't know.
Do they? Well, how about this? Do they know what you guys are after?
Have we told them that?
Maybe during a campfire reading, singing. Maybe you've mentioned it.
Like, they definitely would want to know why you are intent on traveling all the way to the end of the earth.
Well, I did have that day in the library where I was distracting George.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it's canon that I taught him the elven word for cheese, so he at least knows that I am a scholar of elven stuff.
Right.
So perhaps, George isn't the most observant young man, but it's possible that Lucia may have caught me with my hood down before.
Right.
Now, most humans don't really notice.
Mm-hmm. Not immediately obvious if you're not looking for it.
Yeah, they don't think anything of it, and the mask is kind of weird, but nobody's bothered to ask. But if there is elven heritage involved out in this area, it might make sense for Lucia to approach Serene in private and ask some more pointed questions.
Okay. All right. So Lucia has sought out some answers in private from Serene. We don't know a whole lot about Lucia's personality, but she is direct in her approach. She is not a scheming sort. She is very to the point. She wants this information. She's going to ask for the answers. So this would have been days ago on the travels. Perhaps while already... perhaps before Bulwark. I don't know.
She would have seen me in my mask for the first time the night of the Varro attack.
Okay.
She might have seen my ears before that, but
maybe she just kind of finally put two and two together.
Yeah.
After that, and that night, while the campfires are going and people are taking their meals together, and there's a general sense of, well, at least we're not dead. So let's have a good meal. While all of this is going on, this sort of kind of like cautious night of revelry for the beginning of this next leg of the journey, she does kind of catch you on your own and sort of, for lack of a better word, does interrogate you a bit. So let's flash back to that moment with Serene sitting on the edge of a cart, a wooden bowl full of some kind of medley of local vegetables and fruits. They're not dipping into their supplies that are gonna be your jerky and your nuts. It's just like, here's some fresh food before we get too far from town. So we're eating well tonight. And Serene's just kind of sitting back after maybe putting on a bit of a show for the caravan. She does feel at home in the spotlight, entertaining everyone, lifting their spirits.
It's how she's always gotten her best information.
It's true. But then the tables turn as Lucia sits down next to her, food in hand as well. And not even, while looking straight ahead, not even really making eye contact. Just goes right into it. You're an elf.
Serene stops mid-chew for a second, blinks, and then finishes chewing her food, and she's like, you might be the first person who's noticed. This is other than the boys I'm traveling with.
Lucia thinks for a moment. She processes the information. To her, it's fairly obvious for anyone who would be paying attention. Lucia is clever and does not, despite what you may glean from her brother, Lucia has little patience for fools.
Her brother's special.
Yeah.
So Serene, after giving her a moment to process that, and it's like, she in turn, she's like, so what knowledge do you have of elves? It's uncommon for humans to know much enough to even recognize one of us.
Let's see. Oracle says, leave idea. The settlement of Imber has elves in its history. And though not many would pay too close attention to old stories and tales, I take pride in putting this information together. What exactly is it you're after out in the Ashenlands?
Serene pauses for a moment. She's like, that sounds like you and I at least have a little bit in common. And she just kind of motions generically at her lute.
Yeah.
And she's like, she pauses for a long moment and takes a bite of food and kind of mulls over what she wants to say. And she finally just settles on, I know that there, at one point in time, was an elven settlement in the Ashen Lands. And I have been consistently trying to find all of the elven ruins across all of the Iron Lands and in the neighboring regions for many, many years. And time has come for me to seek out what I can find of my people in this realm, and what transpired. That humans no longer have any knowledge of us.
Okay, so just not revealing everything. Nothing technically false, but just an incomplete version of the truth.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
It's fully true. It's just lacking in detail.
Yeah. So, an incomplete truth. Let's see. I think she actually might know a little bit of information that could help you here. Kind of want a roll for this. Even though this happened in the past, this makes sense within this scene. Gather information, compel. Yeah, let's just do a quick gather information roll for Serene here. Complicating information. Okay, so something a little bit less. You do get momentum for this as well, even though this happened in the past.
Yeah, I already had the momentum. We just forgot to put it on the tracker.
Of course. It was no settlement. It was on the verge of becoming an empire. The elves of this region were flourishing many, many years ago. Things changed, and there's not much left out there. I don't know many of the details, but, well, I may know someone who could get you the information you need. For now, we should at least just focus on getting to Ember.
Serene nods. She's like, I agree. And I have a guess as to what might have changed, but that's a much longer story for far too short of a night.
Nods solemnly. Takes a bite of food to fill the silence, as one does. And fade out scene. Back to the present. How did we get to this point? What just happened? That was the match. No. Was that the match?
The match was finding the emblem
the
on
emblem.
George.
Yes, and then we learned a little bit about why, or we learned a little bit about the knowledge of you being an elf on Lucia's part.
Yeah, we had to fill in some backstory between Lucia and I.
Yes, all right.
And she's going to have. She's very interested in the fact that I am attempting to save her brother's life.
Yeah. She's cool with that.
She's probably here, right, in the midst of me helping George, and she probably notices that when I fixate on the pendant. So once I shoo other people away to like go tend to the horse and get things moving again, um, she will probably stay with me while we continue to monitor George's condition.
Right.
And it might give us a chance to have further conversations, but we don't necessarily need to pursue that right this moment.
Right. Yeah. For now, we've got George stable, and we're just gonna be happy with that before we try and make any moves out there. And the horse is stable. Thank you, GQ. Yes.
Exclamation mark 0.
That doesn't do anything here. Okay, all of this was we were about to undertake a journey roll. And then all of this happened, which is kind of just how the game works. Tangents upon tangents. I think we're just gonna make the roll. This is gonna be the roll that I think gets us into the Ashen Lands. And then we're just gonna see what happens. Thank you, Day. Let's go with Torgan. I think you're making this one.
Great.
Let's do it.
It always works out.
It does, doesn't it? Well, you know what? That's not too bad, honestly. That is progress at the expense of supply. But the important thing is that you're in good. You made it further without things going terribly wrong. This brings you all. The desert, the rocky stone ground, begins to give way to a sort of fine sandy ash. The terrain is smoother. It is somewhat like a firm beach sand. The carts are having a much easier time on this terrain as it slowly blends into this dry region. This area is, if possible, even less vegetated. The occasional scraggly plants that you would pass by in that stony desert are all but gone as you reach into the actual proper Ashen Lands. The area still contains these sort of large rolling hills, though much less rockier and more like just large dunes dotting the horizon. We could probably press on a little bit further. We're 4 solid rolls away from getting to Ember. Unless you guys wanted to roll for it immediately. A progress roll less than 10 never hurt anybody.
No.
let's go on a journey at least one more time.
Mm-hmm.
But we do need to get we do need to consider getting George out of the heat and the horse. Theodore?
Yeah, Theodore. That's the one.
It's preferably as soon as possible. We had to make room in the cart to kind of lug the horse up there, and the cow was taking its place, which is not ideal.
Not working great. And we still got about half a journey left.
Hopefully the horse will feel better enough we can kind of put the horse back, but, we need to...
Yeah.
We're hobbling a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a petition to change the horse's name to Theodorus.
Theodorus?
Theodore's horse, please.
Theodor's horse.
I'm okay.
The second. All right. Theodorus it is. Motion passes. Done. We're going to have Torgan again take center stage on this roll. Because it's having good luck so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Torgen's not allowed to touch the dice.
Okay.
Yeah, there goes. Yeah.
Well, you are waylaid by a perilous event.
Of course I am.
Okay, so what happens here? All right, so you're beginning to see kind of the different parts of the Ashenlands as you sort of snake your way through the dunes, each one giving you line of sight into a whole new region of this large desert. The the gray sands are not entirely featureless. You have passed by a few large stone outcroppings poking out of the grains of sand, as well as what looks like old petrified trees that somehow have stood the test of time. There is a... you notice that the animals begin to act up a bit. A few of them rearing up altogether. The other travelers make quick moves to calm the horses and other animals. And there's a sort of unease across the caravan at the sudden disturbance. Moments later, you start to feel just it's subtle at first, but slowly but surely there's this steady quaking that you feel happening, this tremor working through the ground. Now, you are fairly fortunate that there's no sort of like rock slides to be found around here. The surrounding areas are all these smooth, sandy dunes of ash. However, as the ground continues to tremble, you do feel a bit of the ground starting to sort of shift away from you. Suddenly, you see some of the sand start to just pour away as though through an hourglass. As it seems like some sort of ravine is giving way in the path ahead. Let's see, Torgen, since you are in charge of this scene, I'm gonna need you to face danger here.
Great.
This is going to be, I'm gonna say iron. With strength, you are going to be attempting to, well, actually, describe what you do. What do? The part of the ground up ahead is starting to like break away and sand is just pouring down into the earth. You are in the middle of basically like this event ahead of you and like one of the carts behind you.
Well, the
And,
earth
like,
is...
and sort of some of the sand beneath your feet is starting to slide towards that hole. That's sort of cracking open.
You might want to stop the cart.
I say, well, I guess immediately I'm going to shout to all the caravan that we need to back up. So we need to stop and back up. We're going to have to find another way around.
The rerouting will be a concern after the immediate threat of falling into the earth is addressed.
Yeah. So I shove everybody back and try to get everybody to reverse, which is a task considering there's a horse in one of the carts.
That's true. That's true. May as well be the cart that you're with.
So I'm pushing against the cart, and it's slowly inking me towards the gap.
Right.
I'm trying to push and shove and trying to get it all to stop.
A feat of superhuman strength. Torgen is trying to push this horse-laden cart away from the ever-expanding ravine being revealed in front.
Centaurian strength?
A weak hit, but at a troublesome cost. Let's see here. What happens here? Ooh, any of these things could be reasonable. Let's just roll a d4. Just go down the line. Sacrifice resources. Okay. Yes, you do manage to... You summon all of your strength within and push this cart, horse and all. The wheels struggle against the sand, trying to get any kind of traction, but eventually it finds purchase and you're able to push this thing away. However, a few barrels of supplies from the cart tip over and begin rolling back as the terrain begins to slope. You kind of duck out of the way as it goes spilling over your head, tumbling down into the newly revealed crevice. That was some of the water and food for the caravan.
Hope we're alive immediately.
But
Yeah.
we won't be much longer unless we get to what passes for civilization.
Yeah, this is suddenly a big issue now. But with that out of the way, the travelers are safe for now. The sand kind of reaches an equilibrium and stops sliding in, giving you kind of a clearer, not a great picture, but a clearer picture of where the safe terrain is that can still be passed along. This happened in front of the entire caravan, so there's no separation of the party. Everyone is still together, and we'll have to work around the ravine together.
We're gonna have to get where we're going quick.
Yeah, supply is not great right now.
I say we continue forward to the safest areas.
All right, we gotta be a little strategic on the rolls, it seems. Things are not looking good here.
I have a 10 momentum.
True.
I am going to go scout to find the new path ahead.
All right.
Yes, please.
Lucia will come with me because she knows what's going on
True.
and knows the area.
Now, do you want to try to secure an advantage before you roll for the undertake a journey?
Yes, my securing an advantage is taking Lucia with me.
All right.
I'm going to call that bringing along expertise.
Okay, you guys are going to be working on surveying the area to try and find an alternate path that's safest.
Yeah, expertise and observation, I'd call it.
Yeah. Yeah, scouting ahead is a very wits roll there. All right, so let's see what happens here. Strong hit. You get a +1 on the next move. Because you can't take the momentum.
I wanted the +1 anyway.
Exactly. So that means that this one will be made with a +4. Surely that will be safe, right?
And if it's not, I got a 10.
10 doesn't beat everything.
No, because your bot hates us.
Hey, you guys were going on and on about how much it loves you.
It hates me specifically.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
And me trying to heal Glane, it specifically is offended.
There we
by-
go.
Oh, see, look at that.
You're fine. Bobby fine.
Okay. So Lucia kind of knows the area well enough to help me kind of scout this out quickly and well.
Yes. So you guys are able to find an alternate route around the this new pothole of sorts. And you manage to guide the caravan all the way around. It's kind of a longer path, but it is safe enough. Where does this bring you?
Am I bonding with Lucia at this point?
I think you are getting there.
Yeah, like at some point, I feel like there's going to be a bond roll.
Yeah, probably could be. You guys have been spending significant time overcoming obstacles together. Let's see. To forge a bond.
We don't. Now's not the time.
No.
But, like when we get to Ember and her brother's not dead, and
yeah, that'll be kind of a big thing. Yeah.
We'll have some time to sit down and kind of. I might have to eventually tell her that story I said was too long for that short night.
You know what? Maybe that will be when the Forge a Bond move is made. Because that way, there would actually be a reasonable, like, a very natural consequence for failure on Forge a Bond. It's like, oh, it turns out, she doesn't like that's what you're after. Or strong hit, and she's like, okay, I want to help you. Like, that would work great for that moment. But we're not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
For now, you guys are coming across... let's see here.
We want to do something crazy.
What?
Do you want to try to end the journey? Do we want to try to end the journey?
I was thinking if you guys get to 0 supply, that may be the play.
Well, I did roll a strong hit, so we could. But
I mean, you're still good right now.
7?
Yeah, it's not
What is
great.
the consequence? What is the consequence when supply gets to 0?
Ah, that's a great question right there.
Because it's never happened.
Let's see here. Out of supply. When your supply is reduced to 0, you mark the debility unprepared. If you suffer, so that's basic. I think that one basically means that you get a -1 to your max momentum, similar to being like geared for war.
I can't take another one.
What's that?
I don't want to take another hit.
Oh, actually, maybe that one's a special one. Oh yeah, no, that is a condition. Okay. In addition, if you have to suffer supply while unprepared, you instead suffer either health, spirit, or momentum as appropriate. And you can only clear the unprepared debility from the Sojourn move.
We want to roll against a 7?
No, but none of us can put momentum into it if it fails.
Yeah, that is the kind of the scary thing.
Do we want to try for one more tick?
Just a little bit more progress.
I think we have to.
So we have to survive 2 rolls instead of 1 now.
One more spin.
One more. No whammies.
Big money.
All right, we're gonna go for it. Any preparations for this?
H.
While Lucia and I were out scouting, did we come across anything we could salvage? Anything that may have been revealed by the sandslide? Perhaps, I don't know,
Let's see here.
something useful?
Not useful, but some of the underlying ground beneath the ash, great columns of basalt are kind of revealed as parts of the dunes are swept away into the ravine.
Interesting. Serene files that information away for later. I think at this point, I don't know what we could do to get an advantage other than we could try scouting some more, but we've avoided the obstacle.
Yeah, it's like, what will you find?
I think we just have to roll for it, guys. I don't know what else we could do at this point.
I'd like to scrape some of the salt off the wall and offer it to the sick horse.
The horse accepts.
Mm-hmm.
I speak for the horse.
You speak horse, you see.
It all makes sense. All right, we gonna go for it?
I'll roll it,
Yep.
just in case.
All right. Here we go. This is at a +3. That's decent. And you've still got that momentum to fall back on if things go not too bad.
That's why I'm rolling it.
Here we go. Strong hit. Okay, that is progress. That brings you to 8. Gosh. All right, you begin passing through what looks like a full forest of petrified trees.
What's the magic like here? Or is there just like a complete and utter dearth of ambient magic?
You do sense a very faint feeling of something. But it speaks more to your ability to kind of detect sort of that sort of background background radiation. It's pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, if the petrified trees in particular make me wonder if there's any kind of distortion to the ambient energy in the area, or is it just too faint to tell?
Nothing you can really detect at this point.
Okay.
All right.
We have to try to
Ideally,
end
we
it.
get 2 more strong hits.
I'll roll it again. I'm leaning on that 10 as backup plan.
Mm-hmm. Wait, that's the wrong one. Ignore that.
No, I like it.
Well,
Oh,
that
no.
would be that would have been
That
a
would be
weak
a
hit.
full. Oh, okay.
All right, hang on. Let me let's do the right button here. There it is. Serene. The serene button at +3. Ooh.
Oh.
666? What the heck?
Yeah, actually.
That's a 10, actually.
You know what? You're absolutely right. It is. Okay. Momentum is expended.
I think we just lost the game, guys.
Momentum
We're being
is
attacked by
expended.
demons all of a sudden.
So that does turn it into a strong hit at the cost of all of your momentum.
Worth it.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, I feel like
Because otherwise, I'm pretty sure we just summon demons.
I mean, basically that.
Ooh.
There are demons clawing their way out of the trench behind us and attacking us from behind. Is the alternative.
Yeah.
Momentum well spent.
3 shadow circles just grew in the ground, and a shadow, Serene, Torgon, and Glade just grew out of them with red eyes.
All right. So, all right, we're at
that was
9.
probably the bad roll. You know, I mean,
We're
we
at,
probably just got the bad one out of the way.
yeah, we're at 9 progress.
I mean, 9's pretty good.
But is it good
I was
enough?
trying to do it at 7. So I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
I'm okay with trying it at 9.
We need to get where we're going.
we really do.
Yeah.
This place is horrible.
We're out of supplies and time.
I mean, you're at 1.
I say we try it at a 9.
I say we try to end it.
All right. This is going to be
So.
one of the first. Is this the first time we've ever actually done a progress roll at anything less than 10?
We've done
I
a
think
9 before fighting
Something.
wild animals.
I
or
think
something.
you brought it up in the past, and we did it out of
Desperation.
wonderment.
Yeah. All right. This is a 9 on undertake a journey. Wait, no, reach your destination.
If we lose to something a 10 would have won over, that's going to be something.
I mean, it would be hilarious. All right, here we go.
Hilarious isn't the word I would use.
All right, everyone.
Clench.
Yeah, get your lucky emote ready. Whatever that is.
We know what mine is.
I got mine. GQ's always got his. All right, 9 on progress. It's not too bad. I could check the chances, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to roll it and hope for the best. Oh, well.
Yes, but.
That's it.
Right.
All right. A weak hit.
Oh.
Okay. So, when your journey comes to an end, roll the challenge dice compared to your progress. Momentum is ignored. On a weak hit, you arrive, but face an unforeseen hazard or complication.
That ravine earthquake thing did a number on the town as well.
Let's see here. 4890.
I want to say something that'll make Turtle sad.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
We all start high-fiving that we're there, celebrating, running up to the town, and as we're celebrating, looking to each other, we check the wagon and the horse is dead.
No.
No, it's gotta be pretty bad. Let's see
It's
here.
got to be something that matters.
Let's see. I'm gonna roll a few times on the oracles here.
I mean, it would make sense if, like, the town suffered consequences from the earthquake, too. Like, that seems like pretty obvious low-hanging fruit. We arrive. We're there.
You're
Hey,
there?
hey.
You're there.
But, like, they're also kind of not in a great way.
The town is on lockdown. There was this giant beam of light that shot out of the forest.
Let's see here. Learn.
For reference to that joke, please check the last episode.
Ding. All right. You arrive at Ember. The settlement is does not exactly look like what you would have expected. The buildings are mostly made of this sort of mud daub brick kind of thing in these dome-like structures. The lack of wood means, less reliance on traditional timber frames. So settlement it does with what it has access to. There are people scrambling about. You see, it looks like they are gearing up for a fight. You see several people in these sort of loose-fitting cloaks, all with large spears, sturdy spears at the ready. And it looks like they are gearing up to head out of Ember as you are arriving.
I'll go with Lucia, and we'll kind of go ahead to trot ahead to figure out what's going on.
All right. Let's see here.
Maybe Torkin should come too, in case we need a heart roll.
That's a good point. You and Lucia and Torgan, everyone except for Glane, for some reason, travel up, kind of trot up to the front of the caravan, to see what all the hubbub is. Lucia acts as spokesperson, having a connection with the settlement of Ember.
Being from here and all.
and tries to get some information on what exactly is happening. What is... She knows. She actually knows what's going on here. She already knows, because she's from here. She has a lot of insight into the kinds of things that Ember has to deal with. So she kind of explains it to you, rather than going up to ask. The tremors we experienced, those were not of natural origin. There are great creatures beneath the sands. They're not worms.
I was just waiting for the Dune reference. The spice must flow?
Yeah, exactly. They normally do not venture close enough to the settlement to cause any damage. But if one is approaching, then it must be dealt with. Totally different, yeah. We should be safe in the city.
The second she says that, Glenn starts waving the wagon into the city. All right.
Everybody get in here. All right, and with that, the caravan arrives safely. Journey to Ember is completed, though there are dangers afoot.
Serene is lacking in confidence in this whole "we'll be safe in the city" statement. But that is an issue for next week.
That's right. Lucia
survived
does sound
another
like
one.
she's trying to convince herself as well. But that was a success right there. Hooray.
Hooray!
All right. And the biggest success of all, everyone's still alive.
Including the horse and George.
Somehow. Against all odds.
I like how the horse came before George.
Well, I was just going in like sequential order.
Mm-hmm.
You know, temporally. The horse
Yeah.
happened first. So if someone were going to die, theoretically it would be the horse would happen before
True.
the kid.
Ugh.
Well, good job, team. You did the thing.
I failed the thing many times.
You did. It can't be helped. Thank you for looking that up.
That's almost a year.
Wow, he said the thing. All right.
Wow.
Well, that concludes this episode. Is there anything to plug?
I just have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What are the circumstances that brought Serene to tell George the elven word for cheese?
I don't know. Dobbs just kind of used it as a throwaway joke, and I'm trying to figure out how to run with it. I guess I was just trying to keep him busy.
I mean, that's what you do with children, you know, when you know another language.
You teach them the first word they know is cheese?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Not help or I'm in pain.
No. No, I just mean like when you're trying to distract a child with foreign languages.
Oh, okay.
I probably muttered something under my breath that was not a very nice word.
Mm-hmm.
And he was probably like, "Oh wait, what was that? What was that?" And I was like, "You know, the word for," and I said the word for cheese because it sounded close enough, and
That's great.
It wasn't a rude word.
That's great. He's going to meet a group of elves, and the first thing he's going to say is, "Boy, I really want that sandwich," and that is not what he wants.
No, it was the actual word for cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It was just close enough.
It
Uh-huh,
just
yeah.
sounds vaguely close to the word for a very annoying child.
Boy, is he going to get a surprise when he
So
gets a sandwich.
We're so close to not putting anything in the swear jar this week. We're right there.
yes, she said cheese instead.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Should we head on over to see Tank?
Yeah.
I have a plug
Oh, plug.
Please.
for anyone who got here late. Rewind and watch the beginning because we have a new theme song. That's all.
Hey, we do.
Yeah.
Tank and Homewrecker are practicing for their Legend of Zelda Multiworld
Perfect.
race on Friday.
It looks like he's already on Ganon, so we might be catching the tail end of that. But whatever, we're going for it.
GFE
Thank you for
is
the
also
introduction.
on.
Yes.
What kind of animal is Ganon? I can never quite identify
It's like
him.
a pig monster thing.
A what?
A what?
Demon pig monster, yeah.
Haven't you ever seen a pig monster? No? Okay.
Big
All right.
monster.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining, and we'll be back next week for episode 5, where more terrible things will happen as a result of bad dice rolls, because that's just how the game works. All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining. Until next time, goodbye.